very strong opinions about what the FBI was hiding regarding Jeffrey Epstein. In a September 2023 interview with Glenn Beck, you said the Black Book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. Your July memo says you uncovered more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence, but that you had decided no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. That is a quote. I think what happened, Mr. Patel, is that suddenly you discovered that Donald Trump's name was all over these files, and you started a giant cover-up. If you are so interested in getting the public to submit any information, why have you not met with them?
My job as the FBI director is to invite
Is the
all
answer yes or no
leads.
to whether or not you met with these women who were sexually abused and raped?
Any insinuation by you or any
What
people
is
on
the
your
answer?
side that I am not manhunting child predators and sex traffickers, just look at the
Mr.
stats.
Patel,
And you talk
Mr.
about
Chairman,
cover-ups, man.
Mr. Chairman,
you
this
talk
is
about
my time, and
cover-ups.
I will. Mr. Patel, are the victims of the Jeffrey Epstein horrific trafficking ring, are they credible?
Any person with information about ongoing sexual trafficking.
I'm asking you if they're credible.
Ma'am, I'm
Are
commenting
they
on the
credible?
evidence we have.
For promises, one reversal, and 300 gigabytes of evidence that suddenly became no further disclosure warranted. Glenn Beck, the Black Book is under direct FBI Director control. Joe Rogan, we're going to give you every single thing we have. His own February tweet, no cover-ups, no missing documents, no stone left unturned. Then July, Patel and Bondi release one video and declare there's nothing more to see. This congresswoman stands up and says what the evidence shows. You found Trump's name all over those files, and you started a giant cover-up. Then she brings the survivors into the room. Women groomed and raped at 14 and 16 who came to Capitol Hill specifically asking to meet with the FBI director. Have you met with them? He won't answer. Are these women credible? Yes or no? Asked 4 times. The FBI director never says yes. This is the most explosive Epstein exchange in this entire series, and what comes after it is just as significant. Stay with us.
Mr. Patel, before you joined the FBI, you had very strong opinions about what the FBI was hiding regarding Jeffrey Epstein. In a September 2023 interview with Glenn Beck, you said the Black Book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. In December 2023, you said, let us know who the pedophiles are. Even for a short time after becoming FBI director, in February of 2025, you tweeted, quote, there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, no stone left unturned. In June, you told Joe Rogan, quote, we've reviewed all the information, we're going to give you every single thing we have and can. But then suddenly in July, everything changed. You and Attorney General Pam Bondi released one video and said that there was nothing more to see. Your July memo says you uncovered more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence, but that you had decided no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. That is a quote. I think what happened, Mr. Patel, is that suddenly you discovered that Donald Trump's name was all over these files, and you started a giant cover-up. So you are under oath, Mr. Patel. You just testified to Mr. Swalwell that you did not speak to the president about the Epstein files. To your knowledge, did Attorney General Pam Bondi speak to the president about what was in the Epstein files?
I can't speak for Attorney General Pam Bondi.
So to your knowledge, you don't have any information. The question was, do you have any knowledge? Do you have any knowledge?
I can't speak.
You are refusing to
Attorney
answer the
General
question, so
Pam
let me
Bondi.
tell you that the Wall Street Journal reported that in May, Bondi told Trump that he was in the Epstein files, and at the same meeting said that the DOJ did not plan to release the files. Yesterday, you testified to Senator Kennedy that there was, quote, no credible information that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone else, and that you have, quote, continuously and publicly asked the public to come forward with more information, and we'll look into it. Today, in response to Mr. Massey's question, you appeared to say that the survivors were not credible. These are survivors.
That's not at all what I said.
Okay.
The chronological build-up Jayapal constructs here is the most devastating version of the Epstein transparency argument made in any hearing in this series, because every single piece of evidence comes from Patel's own mouth. Glenn Beck, Joe Rogan, his own Twitter account, specific dates, specific quotes. These are not opposition research. These are public commitments made to massive audiences by the person who is now running the institution he was promising to expose. Then 300 gigabytes. That is not a thin file. That is a substantial body of evidence. And the conclusion reached after reviewing it, no further disclosure appropriate or warranted, requires accepting that 300 gigabytes of Epstein-related material produced absolutely nothing the public deserves to know. The Wall Street Journal detail is the most significant factual claim in this clip. Bondi reportedly told Trump his name was in the files, and at the same meeting said DOJ did not plan to release them. That sequence, if accurate, is the moment the transparency promise ended. Patel won't confirm or deny knowing about that conversation. Can't speak for Bondi. But here's the thing. Jayapal isn't asking what Bondi said. She's asking whether Patel has any knowledge of it. Those are different questions, and the answer to the second one never arrives. What comes next puts the actual survivors in the room, and what follows is unlike anything else in this series.
These are women who came to the Hill and testified that they were groomed and raped at the age of 14 and 16 years old, and they called to meet with the president and to meet with the FBI and to have people investigate their claims. Some of them have never testified before. If you are so interested in getting the public to submit any information, why have you not met with them? You said you haven't met with them. Have you met with them? I'll give you one more chance.
My job as the FBI director is to invite
Is the
all
answer yes or
investigative
no
leads.
to whether or not you met with these women who were sexually abused and raped?
Any insinuation by you or any
What
people
is
on
the
your
end?
side that I am not manhunting child predators and sex traffickers, just look at the
Mr.
stats.
Patel,
And you talk
Mr.
about
Chairman,
cover-ups, man.
Mr. Chairman,
you
this
talk
is
about
my time,
cover-ups.
and I will take as much time as I
Where were
want.
you during the
Instruct
Obama
the
and Biden
witness, Mr.
administrations
Chairman.
when these so-called
Instruct the
cover-ups were
witness.
going on?
Mr.
Why didn't
Chairman.
anyone in those administrations talk to any of these
Mr.
purported
Chairman.
witnesses?
Let's
I
get
have
some regular order,
welcomed
Mr.
every
Chairman.
single person to provide credible information.
Time belongs to the gentlelady from Washington.
And I'm
but
gonna
when you-
take
when
another
you
couple
accuse
of
the
minutes.
witness of something, he's allowed to respond. That's how it works. You say
Listen,
something,
he didn't
say
even,
the-
excuse me,
he's
Mr.
allowed to
Chairman,
respond.
you have
Point
always
of
been
order.
fair, but this
And
is
I'm
not
being
fair.
fair, and you will get
No,
your-
this
you will
is
get
my
your time.
time, and he
We will give the
said
gentlelady
that the
a few
witnesses
additional
were not credible.
seconds of time.
I'm gonna get an additional minute of time, because
No,
that's
you'll
how
get
much
what,
time
you
he
won't get a
took.
minute. You'll get some seconds. What we think is under 5 minutes. You don't get to demand how
Mr.
much time you
Patel.
get. That's not how it works.
This is where the exchange stops being institutional and becomes personal, and Jayapal does it deliberately. Patel has said repeatedly across this series that he welcomes new information, that the FBI's door is open, that anyone with credible evidence should come forward. Jayapal applies that commitment directly. There are women who were trafficked by Epstein. They came to Washington. They asked to meet the FBI director. Some of them have never testified publicly before. The invitation to come forward exists. They came forward. The yes or no question, have you met with them, is the most direct accountability test of whether the transparency promise means anything in practice. Not a policy debate, not a legal argument. Did you make time for the people whose experiences are the center of the case you claim to care about? Patel's pivot to child predator arrest statistics is his standard defense across every hearing in this series. And in this specific moment, it lands exactly as what it is, a deflection from a question about specific living survivors who are apparently in this building right now asking to be heard. The room erupting, Jayapal fighting for her time, the chairman intervening, chaos breaking out, shows how close this exchange got to something nobody wanted to resolve in public. Then she gets her seconds back, and the question she asks next is the one that breaks this hearing open.
Mr. Patel, are the victims of the Jeffrey Epstein horrific trafficking ring, are they credible?
Any person with information about ongoing sexual trafficking.
I'm asking you if they're credible.
Ma'am, I'm
Are
commenting
they
on the
credible?
evidence we have.
But
And we have routinely asked for people to come forward with more evidence, and we will look at it. And the evidence that we have was the same evidence that the Biden and
Patel,
Obama Justice Departments
Mr.
had.
Patel,
And they
this is
determined,
new.
not me, they determined
Mr.
that that
Chairman,
information was not
Mr.
credible.
Chairman, he's not letting me even ask my questions.
You
This is
ask the
ridiculous.
questions, he gives an answer. You may not like what he says,
No,
but that
I'm
doesn't mean you
asking,
get to
he's not
interrupt
answering
him.
my question.
Mr.
You
Chairman,
have
could we
an-
restore the gentlelady 45 seconds so she
We
can
will
complete
give her
her question?
additional 30 seconds, which is what I said
I'm
earlier.
going to keep taking my time
No,
because
you'll
here's
take the time
thing.
that you get. You get
are
30
not
seconds.
answering the question. The question
I
is,
have, you just don't like the
these
answer.
are these women credible? It's a yes or no answer.
I have answered the question.
Well,
and I
what is
keep
the
telling
answer?
you, I'm the only FBI director that has welcomed new information in this
Okay.
case. This
You're not-
administration is the only one that has welcomed any new information in this
Is there
case.
a yes or no to whether
Present
the
new
victims
credible
are
information.
credible?
Present new
Are
information.
the victims credible
The victims-
or not?
I'll tell you what happened in the last Trump
Are they
administration.
credible or not? You can't
Victims
even say.
credibly came forward, and you know what happened? President Trump authorized the indictments of
President
Jeffrey
Trump
Epstein,
called
not
them a
Biden,
hoax.
not Obama,
President Trump
no one
called
else.
the entire thing a Democratic hoax. So I would like to ask
The
you,
gentlelady's time
if
has
you
expired.
will
I gave her
meet-
the additional
if
45
you-
seconds she
if you
requested.
will
The
meet-
gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from
Mr.
New
Chairman,
Jersey is
I would like
recognized
to
for his
ask if
5
you would
minutes.
meet with the women who were sexually
time does not belong-
abused and raped and groomed
time does
at
not
the
belong
ages
to the
of
gentlelady from
14
Washington.
and
The time now
16
belongs-
years old. Are
the
you
time-
going to cover up?
No, I'm
Are
not
you
gonna-
going to
I'm
continue
gonna
to
recognize
cover
the
up
gentleman
for
from
the
New Jersey
rich
for
and
his 5
powerful
minutes.
men, including those that might be on this committee?
I can yell
Or
too,
are
Mr.
you
Chairman,
going
but I don't wanna
to
yell
allow
above
them
this.
to
The time belongs
testify?
to the gentleman from New Jersey. I
Are you
appreciate
going
the
to allow
gentlelady
them to
yielding
testify,
back.
Mr. Patel?
Go ahead,
Will
Mr.
you
Angelo.
allow them to testify to you,
Mr.
Mr.
Patel.
For times, are these women credible? And the FBI director never says yes. That's the fact that sits in this room after everything else clears away, not a legal argument, not a policy debate. The FBI director was asked 4 separate times whether the women who say Jeffrey Epstein trafficked them are credible witnesses. He answered with evidence standards, prior administration determinations, and Trump's indictment record. Every answer is technically relevant to the broader case. None of them are the word yes. Then the Trump called it a Democratic hoax detail lands in a way Patel probably didn't intend. He's using it to contrast Trump's eventual indictment action against Biden's inaction. But what it actually does is remind the room that the current president publicly dismissed Epstein's victims as part of a political hoax, and the FBI director now working for that president just spent 4 attempts avoiding a one-word confirmation that those same victims are credible. The chaos that follows as the chairman cuts off time is the hearing's way of burying the question without answering it. But it's on the record now. And what happens next in this room, with Congressman Van Drew taking the floor, is the counterargument that this entire Epstein exchange has been waiting for. Let's see it.